Hi, I'm Jack and Zeiss from third period Physics 2, and my semester project was what was the best way to remove a stain. So, general overview of my project was my main goal was to try and figure out what was the best technique to remove red sauce from a white t-shirt. I went through the t-shirts and just cut up about 3 by 3 squares of white cloth and then used that to put the stain on. I had 5 different techniques, and all of them ranged from chemical strength to just accessibility around the home, or just like general things that you should be able to find around your home that you could use to remove a stain, or common things. So, big question is, how am I going to do it? Well, first I got about I would say a teaspoon of pasta sauce, or in this case it was pizza sauce, and put it on the white cloth. As you can see in the bottom picture, I spread it out to about a 1.5 inch circle on there, and I let it sit for 30 seconds on the t-shirt. And then once it was done sitting for 30 seconds, I went and applied the removal technique, whether it be soap or water, and then I scrubbed the stain with a toothbrush, or with just rubbing the cloth between itself to do the scrubbing for it. And my 5 different ones were water. I used this Shout stain spray. I would spray it on there, let it soak, and then I would scrub it for 20 seconds. I used Dawn dish soap. I would put it in the dish soap and rub them together. I used vinegar and water mix, which was recommended by my mom because she uses vinegar to clean everything. And then I used bleach because bleach is the best way to get things out of white clothes. And using that, I predicted that bleach would be the best stain remover out of all of them. And this stain on the right was the before and after of just using simple water. So, what actually happened? What happened? So, during my experiment, I did 5 trials of each, and all of them ranging in effectiveness and how well they progressed. So, obviously, as you can see, water didn't do too hot. I think I expected it. I think it was kind of expected because it's a middle line. I almost use it as my control to compare better or worse effectiveness to water. And then the Shout spray did very well, and I got an average of 4.5. So it was upper four. So it did a lot better than the water did. And the bleach, well, it was amazing. It got the stain out every time. It was completely effective in removing that stain, and so it got a 5 every time. The dish soap it was in the middle. It was in the middle, so it got 3 every time. It went out and got a 4, and then the vinegar and water was constant with a 3, and the scoring went from a 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. 1, it was the stain was almost completely there, nothing had happened. A 2 was the stain was starting to fade, but there were still particles of it in there. 3 was there were a few particles left, but the stain was still present. 4 was the stain was pretty faded, there was no particles. And 5 was the stain was completely gone. And so bleach obviously did the best, removed the stain every time, and then next came in Shout, which Shout did very well pretty much every time, and then came the dish soap and the vinegar and water, pretty much a tie with a 3 there. So the stain was pretty faded, but it was still present. And then water with the 2, as you saw in the picture of the last slide, there's still the particles there as well. So, what does all this mean? Well, quite simply, bleach just did the best. It did better than everything else. It was constant. It constantly worked perfect every time. It was stronger. It worked faster. It removed the stain in seconds. Water did the poorest. It more of spread out the stains. It didn't actually remove it. It just kind of got rid of the excess and just kind of spread it out, made it lighter. And coming to this conclusion, I figured out that the stronger the chemical, the better the stain removal. So, with taking in like the Shout's a stronger chemical in it, so it did better. Bleach is, as we know, a very strong chemical, and it just kind of ate away at that stain. And I also came to the conclusion that soaps meant for fabric, or chemicals meant for fabric, did better ones than were multi-purpose. Like the dish soap or the vinegar and water is a very multi-purpose cleaner, and so ones that were designed to remove the stain from fabric did exceedingly better than ones that were just multi-purpose that you can use in different things. And continuation of that, the my original hypothesis was correct, that bleach would do better than everything else. And the reason why I think it did that is the chemicals in it are just stronger, and it just powered through the stains better than any of them. Plus it works the best on white stuff, because bleach will turn anything white. And so it's known, and that's why I thought it would do the best, because it was just known to get rid of and turn anything white. And there are a few errors that I could have had. There's always human error. Possible errors could have been with my timing, because it was distinct 20-second, 30-second intervals, and then my labeling of effects as well. And what I mean by that is that there could have been particles there that I didn't see, or I could have just been between two and bumped it up or bumped it down, and that could have thrown it off. And then another thing would be is the same amount of sauce every time. I used a teaspoon, I would top it off, but there's still variables there, and there's still variables how long I let it sit, how long I scrubbed, how hard I scrubbed. There's a lot of errors to go in as well. And so my final findings and conclusions, overall, the bleach one, again, there's nothing else you can say really. Bleach just won it first. It was a perfect score. Came to the conclusion that stronger chemicals and detergents designed for fabrics did the best at removing it from the fabric. And my predicted outcome, my predicted hypothesis, was shown to be true. And because after the testing, it was in fact true that it had done better than everything else, and just the bleach was found on top. And so, thank you, and have a nice day.